check out what I got just before starting this. Damn, that's loud. Why is that so loud? Boom! Alpha Porygon. Here I am trying to not aggro it so I can try to throw a Pokeball. And somehow that counted as a back strike. So I got an Alpha Porygon. Also, check this out. I didn't really get anything here, but I just saw something strange, and I captured the clip. Look at that Drifbloom! That balloon was on Cloud 9. Anyway, so just before starting this, I got an Alpha Porygon. So the Alpha Porygon line is done. I actually got them all separately fully evolved. And I got them backwards too. I first got Porygon Z, then Porygon 2, and now Porygon. So I got super lucky. Not only did I get them fully evolved, I also got no dupes. So my Alpha collection is almost done. Literally almost done. All I need left is the Alpha Magnemite line, and that's it. My Alpha decks will be done. Before anyone asks me, why don't I do an Alpha Living Form deck? So an Alpha every form. Yeah, no thank you. Alphas are already difficult enough to get in this game. No thank you. And like half of the decks has gender differences. The most minute of gender differences. No thank you. No, I'm good. Just the base forms is good enough for me. I'm not doing that. By the way, I know I said that I would evolve these while waiting for space-time distortions. I would evolve Stantler and Quillfish into Weirdeer and Overquill. I lied. So I am almost done. I just need 3 more alphas and then I can move on with my life. Oh, speaking of alphas, remember at the start I was so worried about getting alpha EVs? Now I have more than I know what to do with. And these ones up here are the female ones. So we're almost done. Almost done with the alpha decks. 3 more. Before I start, let me show you. Let me show you what else happened today. So, today is July 12th, 2026. Today is day 2 of Pokemon Go Fest Global. The 10-year anniversary. And I got these as today's shinies. Not that many, because I was at my new job today, so I couldn't walk around and grind. So, I didn't get too many shinies today. I did get Shiny Pikachu wearing the Team Valor hat. That's my team! I got the Pikachu shiny wearing the red hat! Perfection. Amazing. I got 2 shiny Mewtwo's, and the second one you may have seen had the background! Shiny Mewtwo with the background. I kid you not, this was literally the final raid I did for the day. Because I was at my new job and I couldn't walk around and grind, I had to resort to solely using remote raid passes. And Mega Mewtwo being a super mega raid, I had to use not only remote raid passes, but also link charges. And that is quite expensive to use. However, thankfully, I had plenty saved up. I had over 4,000 Pokecoins saved up, naturally. And I had over 3,000 link charges saved up from GoFest of last year. I just never used them. So I kid you not, I burned through all of it. I used all the link charges that I could use. And I spent all the Pokecoins that I could. I bought as many remote raid passes as I could, and I used all of it. Literally the final Mewtwo raid that I was going to do, because I ran out of everything, it was shiny and background. Yo, the odds were absolutely atrocious. It was the standard 1 in 20, but it didn't feel like 1 in 20. Because I did... Hold on, let me see. I did 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. I did 33 Mewtwo raids and only 2 shinies, which is technically within odds. If anything, my odds were actually really good if it's 1 in 20. But still, 33 Mewtwo raids and only 2 shinies. Well, technically I did more. Technically I did more Mewtwo raids, but some of the Mewtwo raids we lost, and then the raid ended, so there was no retrying it. And then some Mewtwo raids we won, but because Pokemon Go is a glitchy mess, I couldn't catch it. And then I couldn't get back into the raid to try to catch it. So I did more than 33 raids, or whatever number I said. So I got this shiny background Mewtwo. However, I chose not to Mega Evolve this one. Instead, I Mega Evolved this one in comparison. A not shiny, but 98 IV. That background is awesome, by the way. The reason I decided not to Mega Evolve the shiny is because, 1, the IVs are better, and 2, the purple regular Mewtwo just matches the background better than the green. That may be a blasphemous choice, but it's a choice I made. I decided to Mega Evolve the better IV Mewtwo. And also today, I probably should have done this yesterday. Today, I used my golden bottle cap on my Eternatus. You know, everyone's pick. So I just want to document this. This is my Eternatus before I started. These are the tasks I had to start with after using the gold bottle cap. And this is where I ended up. This is my results for day 1 of using my gold bottle cap on Eternatus. I got 10 hearts, because like I said, I couldn't walk around as much. And I already got a couple of tasks done. So this is my progress update for day 1 of best buddying my Eternatus from 0 hearts to 300 with using the bottle cap on it, the gold bottle cap. I'm not going to use Poffins on it, because I don't want to. I know Pokedaxi did a video where if I did use a Poffin, and if I get an average of 10 hearts each day, I could finish this in 10 days. But no, I'm not going to do that. Instead, if I get an average of 10 hearts every day, then it'll take me 30 days. So for the time being, I am only going to best buddy my Eternatus while grinding for the gold bottle cap tasks. I literally held off on a year best buddying Eternatus just because I knew doing the gold bottle cap tasks, I would just naturally get a ton of hearts. Okay, so that's all the Pokemon Go news. Let's actually get into this hunt. So we're almost done, folks, with the Alpha Dex. Can you believe? It took a lot of patience, but we actually are managing to get it done. You know what I wish I did with the Alpha Dex? I wish I didn't catch every single Alpha before starting hunting the fossils. Because inside the space-time distortions, I'm just naturally getting Alphas. So I wish I didn't hunt for them beforehand, because I would have just naturally got them in the space-time distortions. Oh well, it is what it is. There's a little piece of advice for anyone else out there who has not done an Alpha Dex in this game yet and is planning to. Also, GoFest. No shiny Tropius or shiny Bouffalont. I didn't have time. Like, I didn't have any opportunity to use the incense today. I did yesterday, but not today. Like I said, I was at the new job, you know? Luckily, we had other staff members there, so I could just stand in the corner and play on my phone. But obviously I'm not gonna normally do that. Oh, because... Well, actually not because. I was about to say because I purchased the gold bottle cap, but no, you get the lucky trinket in the normal run. The normal path. I also got the lucky trinket today. And I plan to use it on my sister's phone, because I'm pretty sure I have a background Mewtwo on her phone that I've been saving to, use a lucky trinket and guarantee a lucky trade to myself. And in return, I have Dragonite prepared to trade to her phone. Don't forget, she doesn't play this game. I play Pokemon Go on her phone. Whenever I can get my hands on it, that is. It is her phone, after all. Anyway, so I kind of wish I started the gold bottle cap on Eternatus yesterday, because I did so many raids yesterday too. That would have helped a lot. And a bunch of field research. Damn, I wish I thought about that. But yesterday I genuinely was finishing up best buddying the most previous batch of Pokemon. Normally I best buddy 8 Pokemon at a time, because you're able to swap them out. You're able to swap out your buddy 20 times a day. Through some simple math, I can get an average of 8 hearts per 8 Pokemon. So it takes me just over a month to get them all to best buddy without using Poffins. That does mean I need a lot of berries, though. Like, a lot of berries. And you know what? That's why best buddying things in Pokemon Go keeps the game alive for me. I need berries to feed my Pokemon to get hearts to best buddy them. And you get berries from spinning Pokestops. That means I need to use up items to have space to spin Pokestops and get berries. So I catch Pokemon, I make item space, I spin the stops for berries, and I stock up on berries. So best buddying keeps the game alive for me. Best buddying means I need to catch more Pokemon to use up items, to make bag space, to collect berries, to best buddy. Well, the 10th anniversary for Pokemon Go Go Fest has come and gone. Let me know how you guys did. By the way, that Mewtwo I showed you, very good contender for a silver bottle cap in the future. Although, I have other options I want to use a silver bottle cap on. I have I think a 96 IV female Meowscarada that I best buddied. A hundo female. Even with the wild area things where mighty Pokemon show up, yeah, good luck finding that. You could, but you're not likely to. And I also have a 98 IV Ceruledge. I would love to get a hundo of that. So currently, those are my 3 picks for future silver bottle caps. Meowscarada, Ceruledge, and Mewtwo. I don't care about PvP, I just want the Pokemon that I like to be the best. After this, I don't really have anything else to use a gold bottle cap on. I'm sure if I dig deep, I can find something. Because I don't want to use it on shiny Pokemon. I did make one exception, and that was the very first gold bottle cap on my shiny Charizard. Because of course I did. I don't want to use it on shinies, because I plan to eventually transfer all my shiny Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home. And you cannot transfer them if you use a gold bottle cap on them. Now, yes, that does mean my Charizard, my shiny Charizard, is doomed to go down with the ship if and when Pokemon Go ever dies. So that's why I don't want to use it on any shinies. Obviously, there are limitations. Certain shiny Pokemon cannot be transferred to home, like costume Pokemon. Costume shinies. And, well, in terms of regular Pokemon, even regular Pokemon with backgrounds, I don't really care about transferring them to home. You know? I don't really care about preserving them if and when Pokemon Go dies. It'd be a shame, but, you know, they're not like the shinies, right? So the next gold bottle cap, I don't know, maybe I'll use it on one of my dozens of Best Buddy Greninjas. You think I'm kidding about that? I'm not. And I already have 2 Hundo Decidueyes. I could have a third one, but it's a Hundo Rowlet. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that I could have just had the entire line Hundo. Rowlet, Dartrix, and Decidueye. I didn't think about that. Whoops. Oh, speaking of dying mobile games, so Nintendo has announced that I almost said Pokemon. That Mario Kart Tour is actually shutting down. The service for the game is ending soon. Damn, this is what people have been saying about live service games, about no future plans. Once service ends for certain games, then that's it. All the money you spent, everything you've collected, it's all gone. And they even announced that they have no plans to make an offline version of the game to preserve it. Because they did that with an Animal Crossing mobile game. When service ended for that, they had a paid version of the game offline to preserve it, but not Mario Kart Tour. So once servers go down for Mario Kart Tour, that game is dead. There is no preserving it. It is dead. That game will become lost media. Now, why would Nintendo do this? Well, I heard this idea online. I heard this take. You know, if they released a full version of the game, a paid version nonetheless, you know, if they release a preserved version without the need to be played online, or without live services, then people can just play Mario Kart on their phone. Thus, they would no longer need to buy their brand new console, wow, that voice crack. They would not need to buy their brand new console, buy their brand new Mario Kart game. So, let's say they release a paid version of Mario Kart Tour for like $10. Well, that's $10 and you get a Mario Kart game on your phone forever. Right? Or as forever as it can be. You don't need to buy Nintendo's next console. You don't need to buy Nintendo's next Mario Kart game. And for $10 nonetheless. Right? So I heard this idea thrown out there. If they release a paid, preserved version of Mario Kart Tour, then that would just deter people from buying their new stuff. Especially kids who really want that Mario Kart experience. Oh, here's $10 on your phone. Instead of the $500+ console, the $100+ game, you can just spend $10 on your phone. I don't know what that was. I'm afraid it might have been an Abra. Is it that Gastrodon? I think it's that Gastrodon. It is this Gastrodon. We're getting shinies at least, just not the shinies we want. Why could you be shiny? Just a mock me in my face. You give me a shiny right next to an Alpha Mime Jr. Exactly what I want. Anyway, so we have two shows to go over today. We have the next episode of Spatter Noir. But No Shame in Feeding doesn't care about that. No Shay Feed over there only cares about the amazing digital circus. And this episode got me. This episode got me good. Not really, though. By the way, earlier today, No Shame in Feeding earlier today sent me the pictures of his tomahawk steak that he was making. Nice, nice, nice. Who's the master chef now? Dry brined it, reverse seared it, barbecue grilled it. Perfection. A tomahawk steak is mostly just for show, you know? The bone is where most of the money goes towards. You could have saved the bone for stock. I mean, that one bone wouldn't do too much, but it'll be still something. You think your mom is? Excellent. Don't know if she can cut it in half. Either bring it to a butcher or just pull out the power tools. You may want to Ziploc bag it up before you throw down Thor's hammer. But also be careful of any bone shards as well. Just take it to a butcher. Unless you have a pot that doesn't go up, but rather goes to the side, kind of like a Dutch oven, if a Dutch oven even fits that bone. You could always just grab a really big heat-proof container and just bake it in the oven instead of over the stove. Anyways, so let's go over the next episode of Spider Noir. This is the second last episode, by the way. Damn, I'm sad. I'm sad. I want more! More! I really hope this season gets more... Well, this show gets more seasons. I really hope so. This show is awesome. It is so incredible. By the way, I got something wrong. I said last time, or whenever I said this, the show, I thought it was like in the 1980s. I was super wrong about that. I looked it up. No, this show does take place around the 1930s. So I was super wrong about that. Maybe I misread the 3 as an 8. I'm also rather tired today, you know. Woke up early for the new job. However, I did catch a break today and was able to come home early because today was my coworker's daughter's birthday, so she wanted to leave an hour early. Hey, fine by me. I may lose an hour's worth of pay, but you know what? I get to go home. Fine by me. Okay, so Spider Noir, episode 7. We begin with Silvermane and his men going back to the alcove where Cat is. She's also struggling with her decisions in life, betraying Ben and Flint. So he tells Cat that they found no other powered people and burned down the lab. Silvermane plans to kill Mayor Morris, gee what a surprise, and then he unleashes his men to cause mayhem. So Flint and Dirk go to rob Morris's funds to spread to the people of New York. They did no such thing. They claimed they got the money to provide it to the fair people of New York. They did no such thing. In fact, that money went to nothing in this episode. Maybe it'll come back into play next episode, but this episode, yeah, that money just vanished. They took it and it vanished. And geez, $10 is a lot in this show, given it's the 1930s. They had stacks upon stacks of bills there. Anyway, so Cat goes to Ben's office looking for Ben, but just finds Janet instead. She claims Ben never met up with her, and he's been missing for days. Yeah, Janet can tell she's hiding something. Cat just tells Janet to reach out to her at the alcove if she hears anything about Ben. And where is Ben? Because it turns out it's been days since the last episode. Ben is at a bar drinking his sorrow away of being betrayed. I don't know if this is the same bar that he and Donegal went to. I don't know. So, Morris and the chief of police find his place ransacked and all his money gone. Yeah, it's not looking good for Morris. He could really use some superpowered people, some powered help of his own. I hear no shiny sparkle. Anyway, so look at this big boy as well. A group of cheerful guys come into Ben's bar, insulting the spider. He drunkenly yells at the guys defending the spider, and they just laugh. So Ben drunkenly leaves, puts his mask on, then goes back to kick the guys' asses. I didn't mean to catch you, I meant to kill you. Oh, that's fine. So we get this awesome bar fight scene. None of the guys realize, hey, it's the spider, and you're dressed exactly the same as that other guy who was here. You also sound like him, too. The only thing that's different is you're wearing the spider's mask. Nah, can't be the same guy. Anyway, so after kicking all the guys' asses, Robbie finds him. So Ben shows him the antidote and almost takes it. Or he claims he's going to take it. He didn't take it on the spot. Maybe he was going to drink it, I don't know. But Robbie takes it away from him. So then they leave, they sit, and they talk. Robbie makes a compelling argument to Ben to not use the antidote on himself, but maybe cure those soldiers first, as they are dying and he's not. Robbie takes Ben back to Janet, and this is actually pretty interesting. So, Ben drunkenly explains what happened the past couple of days, what happened last episode, and then he just drunkenly lets slip to Janet that he's the spider. He's just like, oh shit, I shouldn't have told you that. And Janet's just like, yeah, I know. Wait, you know? Yes, I know. And then we get a montage of a bunch of flashbacks to every time Ben was drunk in the office and literally just told Janet that he's the spider. It happens every time. Ben has been drunk in the office multiple times, and every single time, he tells Janet straight to her face, he's the spider. Not only tells her, but he even has his goggles on. I can't find where this last Mr. Mime, where this last Mime Jr. went. So, this time, Ben genuinely is shocked. Ben genuinely didn't know that Janet knew. Like, he actually didn't know. Like, seriously? You know, you don't see this very often. We more so see people are shocked that people know of their identity. It's like, wait, you know I'm Superman? Wait, you know I'm Spider-Man? But it's not that common when it's like, wait, I didn't know you knew. Well, I guess that's actually the same thing. Never mind, what am I saying? That's the same thing. Anyway, so Cat and Flint share a moment where he shows off his riz. I'm not gonna lie, man is pretty smooth with words. But he also says how he's for sure doomed after seeing Faber's lab. He's also mad at Cat. He's mad that Cat couldn't even wait for him to be dead before hooking up with Ben. That is pretty valid, I'm not gonna lie. I would be mad if I was in his position too. But he does reassure Cat that despite how mad he is, he's not gonna tell Silvermane. Because if Silvermane knew, they're all dead. Anyway, so Ben fills up syringes and plans to use them on the men before himself. Ben is still set on losing his own powers. Because, as he claims, with no powers comes no responsibility. Wow, that's a first. Anyway, so at this moment, the radio comes on saying Silvermane's gang is in Harlem. So, obviously they go. Robbie first tries to talk to Lonnie, but he explains why he's doing this. Why he's on Team Silvermane. He gets a soft bed. He gets hot food. He plans to enjoy what little life he has left. Robbie tries convincing him, but he grows hostile. Then, literally coming out of nowhere, Ben swings in. Like, actually coming out of nowhere, he just swings in. So Ben and Lonnie fight like we're actually seeing Spider-Man Noir facing Tombstone. So Ben and Lonnie fight. Ben tries, not Ben drowns, Ben tries to inject him with the antidote, but his skin is impenetrable. So Ben gets thrown off. Ben drops another syringe. And just as Lonnie was about to smash, to, you know, really break some rib cages probably, just as Lonnie was about to hit him, Robbie injects Lonnie right in the eye. Ooh. Ugh, horrific. Taking a needle to the eye. I don't know what's worse, expecting it or not expecting it. Oh boy. No, you get that shit off my screen. Get off. Get banned. So because of this ocular injection, I'll be honest, I'd rather just die. Because of this, Lonnie is cured. So they escape and take the spider back to Robbie's place. Silvermane's goons find the broken syringe, and take a guess who they're gonna tell. Lonnie and Robbie say goodbye as Lonnie goes to live his life again. Maybe he's gonna go see Niagara Falls with his mom. That's nice. I mean, New York's not that far away from Niagara Falls. Alright, now both Silvermane and Morris get told the spider showed up. And Lonnie is gone. Cured. Now both Silvermane and Morris want to find the spider. They both want Ben Reilly. Not because they know Ben is the spider, but because Ben is not only an investigator, he also knows the spider. Like, he's an acquaintance of the spider. So they want Ben Reilly. If not to get them into contacts with the spider, then to use him to threaten the spider. And that's episode 7. We go into the final episode of hopefully season 1. And this not being a one and done show, because this show is amazing. Alright, is No Shame in Feeding still here? Let's get into Amazing Digital Circus. He waited for me to shut up about Spider Noir so we can get to the good stuff, the only thing he cares about. Wait, I should probably get this done first. No, Mime Jr. You know, if I were to get a Mime Jr. outbreak with an alpha spawn afterwards, I'll try the permutation method. I would. Who knows, maybe one day I'll even come back and continue the alpha Spiritomb hunt. After I'm done the alpha decks, of course. By the way, I am working tomorrow. I worked 7 days a week last week, and, well, let's see how many days a week I work this week. Do I go 14 straight days without a single day's rest? Did no shaman feeding really dip? Because there's a lot to go over for this Digital Circus episode. We're almost done, too. 2 episodes left. 2 episodes. And it's the next episode that has a bunch of gibberish in the title. Which I still haven't attempted to decode if it means anything. And I don't want to look in the comments, because I might get spoiled or something. In 3 days, it will be Sky's birthday. And then in 5 days, it will be Toby's birthday. It's gonna be his first birthday, not being here with us anymore. You know, my sister said something peculiar last night. So, Sky has been refusing to use the bathroom lately. I don't know if it's been the summer heat or what have you. Sky is unlike the other 2 dogs I've had in my life. Billy and Toby, when you let them into the backyard, they would run around and bark. They would actually run around. They were both fat, lazy dogs too, but they would actually run around and bark in the backyard. Sky, no, he just stands out there. He doesn't really run around at all. He barely goes to the grass to pee and poo, and then he'll just walk right in. Like, he does not want to be outside. We have such a big backyard. Billy and Toby took full advantage of that. They ran around the big open space. Sky, however, nah. And lately, I don't know if something's wrong with him. He just doesn't want to go outside. Like, the past 2 days, he doesn't even go outside to pee. Like, he drinks enough, he eats enough, but he just won't even go outside. We carry him outside, and he will just run right back in. So, like, for over 24 hours, he wouldn't even do a single piss. Today, it almost seems like he was choking on something and panting, but, like, he was asleep all day, so I don't know. I don't know if something's wrong with him. Like, he just genuinely refuses to go outside. He eats just fine, he drinks just fine, but nothing's coming back out. And what my sister said was, ever since your big brother passed, you have just refused to go outside. Obviously, that breaks my heart. Because the 2 of them together, they would charge outside every time the door opened. But now that Toby's gone, Sky, he just doesn't really go outside anymore. In 5 days, it will be Toby's 14th birthday. You know, July is a very busy month for me. Well, not really busy, but there's a lot of dates to remember. July 2nd is the day that Billy died. July 3rd is a friend of mine's birthday. July 15th is Sky's birthday. July 17th is Toby's birthday. July 21st is my dad's birthday. Lots of dates to remember in the month of July for me. And then we have the following month, August. Toby literally passed away 3 days before my birthday, which I should be grateful that he didn't pass on the day of. It's already approaching a year since my uncle treated me to a birthday dinner where the steak was severely undercooked. And, well, it was 3 days after Toby passed. And then, after the dinner, they came back to our place to eat cake. And they were like, hey, where'd he go? Where is he? Why is there a picture of him on the table? Oh, when did it happen? 3 days ago? And then they proceeded to eat cake where I think my dad gave my cousins a taser. Like a pocket-sized taser, not even pocket-sized pepper spray, like a full-blown pocket-sized taser. You know what, actually, this reminds me? So, a couple weeks ago, I was told that at work, and this is no surprise, this is no secret, at the new job, there's frequent thefts. That's why everything is in display cases now. But that doesn't stop the thieves and their grubby paws. So there's frequent thefts. And in my eyes, I don't really care. Especially if I don't notice it, right? It's not my store. I get paid all the same. It's not my problem. Of course, if I notice it, I'll try to prevent it. But if you actually sneak one away, I don't really care. So that's for the products. A couple weeks ago, I'm told that the company phone got stolen. Like the work iPhone. To communicate with the other locations. And the other staff. And to communicate with the clients. And all business partners and whatnot. A couple weeks ago, I get told that the business phone got stolen. The business iPhone. I shouldn't be too surprised, but like, damn. This just further solidifies why whenever I work there on my own, I am 100% locking the doors completely before I even go use the bathroom. Even if it takes me a minute, because the bathroom's literally right across, a minute to go pee and come back, hell no, I'm locking the doors. I can't have my phone stolen. I got too much incriminating evidence on it. Anyway, so let's go over the next episode of The Amazing Digital Circus. This is episode 7. So 2 episodes left. This episode got me good. It got me good. Or did it? Or did it? Okay, so this episode, we begin with Kane having no adventure. He plans to go to the store for his milk and cigarette casserole. Disgusting. You make me that, I will probably shoot you. So Kane has no adventure plan for our characters. Anyway, so he asks for he asks them to ask him for suggestions on what to do while he's gone. So for suggestions on what to do, he consults the Chinese door. Whatever. The door serves no purpose. Like, they consulted the Chinese door and it literally did nothing. It served no purpose. Because Kane can't read Chinese. So, Kane suggests that they hang out at the beach. These locations existed the whole time. He's not sure why they don't visit them. And I was thinking that too. First episode, he introduced Pomni and the audience to what this place consists of. There's a freaking amusement park. Like, they just don't go there. Anyway, so, they go to the beach, which isn't a big part of the episode. Despite this being the beach episode, literally that's the title, the beach plays very little to this episode. Okay, so they go to the beach. Our characters change into their swimsuits. Gooners go crazy. So they're playing volleyball in the water, and Ragatha's eye gets knocked off. So Pomni swims down for it. She encounters some low-res fish talking about their treasure. This was absolutely pointless in the episode. I'm also wondering if Ragatha's eye, like now we know it can come off, does Ragatha actually see out of that eye? So Jax is just laying around, apart from everyone else. He leaves and goes off on his own. Pomni sees him leave, and also sees the rogue NPC waving at her, signaling her to come over. So Jax goes back to his room. He has blank black photos on his wall. Only they aren't blank. They're turned over. He turns one over, and it's a picture of him with Kaufmo and the frog character. He then turns and hallucinates a hole in the corner of his room where hands come out. Jax reaches his hand over, some weird digital glitch effect thing happens. He touches the hand, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, if this is real, we saw what happens when someone touches, say, someone who abstracted. The glitch spreads. But no such thing happens here. Jax reaches his hand, touches the other hand, and then he goes into this acid trip where he looks like he's entering the quantum realm. So while in this kaleidoscope, and yes, my voice did just crack, the faces of Kaufmo and the frog character begin to make up the aesthetics. Well, his weird trip is disturbed when Pomni and Ragatha knock at his door with the NPC. It turns out this NPC is no NPC. He's human. He claims he got stuck with a blank mannequin body because Kane overlooked him. How? What happened to his hundreds of all-seeing eyes? Surely Kane would have noticed a disturbance when a brand new human just pops into his realm. Yeah, whatever. He claims he found a way to leave. They went to find Jax because he might have a key to the Chinese room. So Jax grabs all his keys and joins them because literally, why not? So, how can we trust this guy? This NPC, non-NPC? He claims he was here longer than anyone. And he was one of the original developers of this place. Do you know what the Chinese room is? No. I didn't really spend too much time combing over every detail to search for Easter eggs. Alright, so, none of the keys work. And Jax just tries opening the door. It wasn't even locked! Bruh. Like, actually, bruh. Even Pomni's face was like, we wasted all that time. And the door wasn't even locked. So when Jax opens a door, an NPC runs out. That served no purpose. Wait, what? Do you know what the Chinese room is? From the thought experiment. Heh. What? Okay, so they all go in before Kane sees. Pomni tries to get Kinger, but the new guy warns not to. Not to yet. He alludes to something happening between them in the past. So, without Kinger, inside the Chinese room, the guy... I spat everywhere just now. Inside the Chinese room, the new guy explains he was one of the original programmers of the Digital Circus for CNA, and that Kinger was one of his co-workers. He says that CNA eventually began forcibly hooking up CNA workers to the computers and special stasis pods that would keep them alive and analyze their brains. But Jax points out none of them are CNA workers. How did they get hooked up to the computer by putting on a headset? So supposedly CNA was planning to expand development. And we get the reveal. Kane is an AI. An AI specifically created to keep their minds active. I was right! Or am I? So, how can they leave? The stasis pods and the virtual world are both run in the same program. If they can access the master console deep within Kane's office, they can be freed. They need to steal the Kane... What? They need to steal the Kane from Key, and they need administrator access. Jax claims what will happen is they'll get to the end and they'll see... my god, I can't speak. Jax claims what will happen is they'll get the congrats on escaping the circus adventure when we're done. When they're done. Interesting how he points that out. And that is a pretty valid theory. So this guy says he's been watching them this whole time. And then we even see scenes of him being in the background, watching certain moments, like when Pomni was holding her breath. This should be true. We did see him in the background before. He also draws a face, so they can tell him apart from other NPCs. Even though other NPCs don't even show up in this episode. Except for the one that ran out of the Chinese room. We never see him mix up with other NPCs, so what was the point? Alright, so he reveals his name. His name is Abel. This guy is Abel. He says he picked that name because he thought it would be cool. Hearing this line immediately made me suspicious of him, because that makes no sense. Like, why would you pick that? Thinking it would sound cool. None of our characters knew about CNA. Sure, it was on the gun that Jax had, but he clearly didn't look at the gun clearly. None of our characters even knew what CNA was. So, was the name Abel supposed to mean something to them? Like, that still doesn't make sense. You are a worker of CNA. If CNA stands for Cain and Abel, and we have a character named Cain, you chose the name Abel out of everything. And it really does not make sense if you think. Everyone forgot who they were. Everyone forgot their names. If this guy was a worker, either he forgot his name and chose Abel, which made no sense, because he remembered CNA, he remembered Cain and Abel, or he did remember his past, but yet he chose not to go with his real name and chose to go with Abel because it sounded cool. So hearing him choose the name Abel just because it sounded cool immediately made me suspicious of him. As if I wasn't already. Like I said. Oh, Cain just happened to overlook you and did not give you a body. When we saw that's clearly not how it worked. Pomni just popped in with her body, not NPC-like, and Cain had nothing to do with it. And what about his hundreds of all-seeing eyes, Anyways, I am immediately suspicious of Abel. Alright, so whatever. The plan is a go. Jax summons Cain again and asks if he wants to grab dinner and hang out. Cain is super giddy that a human wants to hang out with him. Like, immediately showing his AI side. Like, The moment we learn Kane is AI, he immediately just goes, "Ooh, a human wants to hang out with me? How unheard of." The Chinese room is a thought experiment about if a machine/system can respond and convince other people that it is a real person. Is it sentient? Maybe this Chinese room thought experiment is completely new to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so they go to a restaurant. I wonder if it's the same restaurant we saw in the first episode, where Kane and Bubble are dining and chilling with a bunch of NPCs surrounding him. So Jax needs to glitch out Kane and grab the key in his mouth while he's stunned. You know, Kane's mouth is kind of just like Doraemon's pouch. It just holds endless items in there. You learned about it in philosophy class? Something I clearly never took. Okay, so he needs to get the key from Kane's mouth while he's stunned. He does attempt this, but Kane grows conscious right when his arm is deep down Kane's throat. Pause. No pause on that, because that was actually what happened. Quick, come up with something on the spot. Did you know it's my dream to be eaten by you? Even Kane thought this was something weird to say and want. Did you know it's my dream to be eaten by you, Kane? Well, he had one job to come up with something convincing on the spot, and he failed. Well, points for effort. Alright, so Pomni and Ragatha follow Abel to the Administrator Zone. Literally just a wall hidden in plain sight. I mean, who could have guessed? It's just a wall. On their way, they discuss Kinger, and that it's strange how Abel doesn't want to talk about Kinger at all. It turns out, according to Abel, he made a promise. And he looks at his locket with a picture of someone that we don't see. Whoops. Ragatha asks what happens to the people in the cellar, like Kaufmo. And Ribbit! We now have a name for the frog character, Ribbit. And unfortunately, by the sounds of it, even if it was obvious, Ribbit did abstract, just like Kaufmo did. I'm glad they did bring up this question, what happens to those who abstracted? Unfortunately, though, Abel doesn't know. He just says to hope for the best. Alright, so Jax and Kane discuss his photos of the office. The quote-unquote macroverse, as Kane puts it. Kane is intrigued and obsessed with them. Kane wants to know if he... Well, actually, Kane wants to know more about these office spaces. He wants to know more. He's intrigued. He wants to know more so he can make adventures based off of it. But these photos are all he has of it. How the hell did he even get these photos? I don't know. That is a very good question, though. Because episode 1, it's revealed that the exit doors, remember those? The concept that never came back? The exit doors were Kane's doing. But, if they were Kane's doing, when Pomni went through it, she clearly went through a bunch of office buildings and even saw the computer. Like, how does Kane not know these places, and yet have photos of them, and was responsible for the exit doors that led Pomni straight to it? Wait, am I missing something? Because that part doesn't add up. Anyways, Kane wants to know if he seems cool and similar to regular humans at all. It's pretty convenient the moment we get confirmed Kane is an AI. He starts to not hide it at all anymore. Literally the moment we get confirmed, yes, Kane is a soulless, non-human AI. He just immediately stops hiding it. Like, he doesn't hide it at all anymore. Am I cool just like you humans? My god, a human wants to hang out with me? Like, he just doesn't hide it anymore. Kane claims that he puts a lot of effort into making the adventures. Some appreciation would be nice. And then he freezes again. So this is Jax's chance. He grabs the key. It's a floppy disk. And he tells Kane he needs to go back to the circus to prepare a special thank you with everyone to show their appreciation for him. That buys them some time. Alright, so Zooble and Gangle tell Kinger what's going on, despite Abel not wanting to. When they tell Kinger that his old coworker is here, he seems lost. Like, he doesn't know what at all they're talking about. Like, Abel who? Alright, so they make it to this, like, genuine backrooms looking area. One of the pool rooms looking area. Not necessarily the pool rooms. Like the big open water areas of the backrooms. It genuinely looks like that. Abel asks how many administrator passes to grab. Pomni says 6, because there are 6 of them. Abel is hesitant, not wanting to give one to Kinger. Wait, I should do this before I restart, or reset. What happened to all my items? Oh, right, never mind. I just used my berries, duh. Yeah, Abel doesn't want to give one to Kinger. And it's this moment, this is something I didn't even realize. Or I didn't even notice. Pomni and Ragatha realize the dark. Both their time sharing a close moment with Kinger, it was in the dark. So Kinger has his sanity in the dark and is crazy under bright lights. Aha! Abel even mutters some slander about Kinger, so there's something strange going on between them. Between Abel and Kinger. Alright, so everyone gets administrator passes, even Kinger. Now they need to reach Kane's office. They use cube collisions to glitch launch them up into the hot air balloon, which is a slide entrance into Kane's office. What even was a sentence I just said? Everyone goes. Pomni wants Kinger to go before her. Otherwise, he would be last to be thrown. And who knows what will happen if that was the case. Before Pomni's turn, Abel warns her to pick the right choice. Well, not really warns her, but really urges her. Really puts that dread into her mind. Pick the right choice. You wouldn't want to pick the wrong one. You want to pick the right one, right? So pick it. Alright, so they make it to the door that leads into Kane's office. Jax uses the floppy disk to, I guess, Bluetooth the door open. They enter Kane's office, and it looks like Riley's head from inside out. Only it's orbs of adventure settings rather than memories. Anyway, so they make it into Kane's office. This office served almost no purpose because they go even further. There's a passageway behind the bookshelf. So they walk together as this could be it. This could be their chance to leave. So they hold hands, expecting to leave, except for Jax, who distances himself. Gangle wonders if they'll still be friends in the real world, since this is the only way they've known each other in these goofy cartoon forms. We also see slowly Jax losing it for some reason. So they make it to a big screen, and they need to pick one of the 2 Squid Game buttons. Red will close the console and keep all players inside the circus. Blue will end the game and disconnect all players. The choice seems obvious. But Pomni wants Kinger to choose, hoping the room is dark enough for him to be sane. But it isn't. He isn't sane. So Pomni hesitates to choose. Instead, she wants them to think it over first. Maybe it's a trap. Maybe there's something they overlooked. Jax completely loses it and just runs up, pressing the red button, smashing the red button. Then the screen opens showing nothing but white, and Kane tells them, "Congratulations! You picked the good ending where you decided you'd rather stay with me than go back to that pesky Macroverse. This was all an adventure. Everything was a lie. Kane planned this for a long time." Like, if you think about it, Kane actually planned this for a long time. We saw quote-unquote Abel. We saw this NPC in the background. Like, he planted a background NPC just to lurk in the shadows for who knows how long. Kane actually planned this whole thing out. So yes, Abel really was an NPC. I was right to be suspicious of him, because nothing he said was making sense. Nothing he said was adding up. Especially when he said he picked the name Abel because it sounded cool. So Abel really was an NPC all along. Thanks for gaslighting us, show. Making us think he was an NPC and then telling us he wasn't. Okay, so Kane deletes Abel, and inside his locket was just a picture of a hot dog. So, everything with CNA and the pods was a lie? I don't think so. The best lies has hints of truth to it. Because think about it. Kane has to know about CNA for him to come up with this convoluted story, this convoluted lie. Whoops, I didn't even check the spawns. For Kane to come up with all of this lies, he has to know about CNA. So I don't think Abel, or by extension Kane, was completely lying here. I think there's hints of truth to his entire facade. Maybe the whole pods was a lie, because they all put on headsets. But I don't think everything was a lie. I think there were hints of truth to this. But something I don't understand is, if majority of this was a lie, then what was Abel's, and by extension, Kane's gripe with Kinger? What was that about? The only thing I can think of is the fact that Ragatha asks, what would happen if they picked the wrong button? If they picked to leave? Kane says, "Oh, I didn't think about that. Because I knew you would pick the right choice." So I feel like the reason he had such beef with Kinger for no reason, he wanted Kinger to go crazy in that room and pick the wrong one. Thus, quote unquote, you picked the right option. That explains why Kinger had absolutely no idea what the hell they were talking about. Like, Abel who? So Jax realizes he was right. He was right. This really was all just a hoax. Remember what he said earlier? He laughs maniacally, then turns hostile towards Kane. Where is this next Mime Jr.? Am I going crazy? There it is. So Jax turns hostile to... What? Yeah, Jax turns hostile toward Cain. He accuses He accuses Cain, claiming he put that idea in Jax's mind, that he can influence and control their minds, when he claimed that that's the one thing he has no control over. And then he lists out examples like the stupid sauce, being vegan, their names. Because if Cain has no control over them, then the prop that is the stupid sauce should have had no effect on them. Being vegan would have had no effect on Jax. And they would be able to remember their names. Cain got into Jax's mind and made him press the button to keep them stuck here. And all of this, even Cain is caught off guard. Cain starts to panic and tells them he may have the ability to add temporary modifiers to make adventures more interesting. That's it! Anything more would not end well. And then Kinger has an interesting line. Kinger says, and I quote, "Scratch the first abstraction." This causes Cain to freak out and leave in a panic, but not before giving their prize a basket of exotic butter, soaps and lotions. Is it the Abra? I'm afraid it'll be the Abra. I can't tell. It is an Abra! So this was a pretty big episode. Like I said, I don't think everything here was a lie. I think there are hints of truth to Cain's adventure. However, that does bring up a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Sweet. Like, is Cain really an AI? We've been suspicious of this the whole time. Hell, I've been suspicious of this. It's almost like the writers, the creators of the show, would expect us to believe Cain is an AI, and then they made an episode to confirm it to our face, just to say, nah, psych! But is Cain really an AI? Because Abel is his NPC, so Cain called himself an AI. Is that true? So Cain, now we know, does have minor control of their minds. And it sounds like Cain was responsible for the first abstraction, and more than likely responsible for all abstractions. A domino effect. The first one was his fault. He started it. That means all other ones were because of him. Directly or indirectly, I should say. So, yeah, is Cain really an AI or no? Does Cain know about CNA or no? Or is it all a fabrication? Because if Cain really did plan this for a very long time, who's to say maybe none of it was true whatsoever? All of it was a lie. Dating back to the first episode, CNA doesn't even exist. Like I said earlier, Cain, he's fascinated by the pictures of the Office, the Macroverse. But yet he was responsible for the exit door that led Pomni to said setting. Could Cain have really planned this all from the beginning? This gotcha! You're not leaving. This adventure planned all the way back then? He planted the ideas of CNA, 100% fake. He even planted it on the guns, regardless of if they noticed or not. And then he planted an NPC in the background long ago for eventually this in-house adventure to happen. Could everything be a lie? Could there be no CNA at all? Because if anything, while that answer would suck, it would make more sense. Because if Kane does not know about does not know about the office, one, how does he have pictures? Two, how did he create the exit door that led Pomni there? It's amazing that this episode answered so many questions and then immediately redacted all the answered questions and just gave more questions. Oh, Kane is an AI? Are you sure? But now our characters know the truth about Kane. Where even Kane felt fear. Kane was caught off guard that they figured it out. Figured out his lie. And Kane actually left out of fear. What's going to happen going forward? Surely Kane has to know. The next time he just pops up and is super giddy about their next adventure, when he sees none of them trust him, none of them are willing to participate, what will Kane do? Will he be more pushy? Will he force them to do the adventure? Or will Kane fold somehow? 2 episodes left. And the fact that the next episode's title is literal gibberish tells me some big revelations might be coming. Especially for the next episode being the second last episode, before the big conclusion. On one hand, I'm glad they didn't drag out this storyline, a big mystery that lasted several seasons. Looking at you, From. But on the other hand, well, they could have dragged it out a little bit, 9 episodes and that's it. I know. Animation takes a long time. While I'm happy that the developers got to see out their vision, complete their project from beginning to end, and actually do what they wanted to do, it's a little bit of a shame that that's it, right? Like, they have so much potential to expand on, but it's the creator's vision. Who are we to complain, right? Well, I'm excited for the next 2 episodes, especially since the last one is an hour long, so double the length of a regular episode. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the last episode. We now know of at least 3 past NPCs. We know of Kaufmo, Ribbit, and Kinger's wife, but maybe I'm crazy. Did I not see other pictures of non-NPC characters in the background? Anyway, so we know of also Scratch. Oh, you're right, Scratch. Whoever the hell Scratch is. So 4 NPC... What? 4 non-NPCs who have abstracted. So there's bare minimum 4 in the cellar. And you know, it makes sense that Abel said he doesn't know what'll happen if the abstracted ones what happens when they disconnect from the program. He doesn't know because Cain doesn't know because none of this is real. I kind of wonder, why doesn't Cain have the ability to unabstract them? Now that we know Cain has minor control over their minds, can't he undo it? Hell, he undid Ragatha's glitched body. But that's control over their bodies. Cain claimed he had no control of their minds, so he can't undo the insanity. But now we know that was a lie. Corrupted files are harder to recover, I don't know. Are there any details I missed? Anything I should know about? But yeah, the beach portion of this episode was absolutely pointless. For an episode titled The Beach Episode, the beach had little to no play in the episode whatsoever. Oh god, rip life savings, what have you done this time? They even animated characters like Pomni, Ragatha, Gangle in swimsuits. I hope you are ready for the consequences of your actions. The fish? What about the fish? Am I overlooking something? Because that storyline meant nothing. Contributed nothing. Unless those low-res fish are going to show back up. Oh, also for the first time, this barely, what? The goatee's life savings? Rip? Heh. Also for the first time, the sun had lines. Was this a direct consequence of the, questionable canonicity of the video posted after the first episode? Where their episode reached the goal of 1 view! And the sun got promoted to more lines because supposedly, originally she had no lines compared to the moon. Look up what goatee is. What, the facial hair? No, I'm kidding. Shouldn't I make it daytime first? You know what that fish looks like? It looks like the fish man in Wind Waker. Goatee is a famous constructed word used to illustrate the irregularities of quirks of English spelling. Pronounced like fish. What? Pronounced like fish? It achieves this by borrowing sounds from other common English words. GH as in tough, like the F sound. O as in woman. Wait, what? No, women. The O in the word women. The O is an I sound, and TI as an S sound, as in like nation. So, fish. What the fuck? Look at the Vsauce vid. Forbidden spellings.
The word church. It's wrong. Or is it? T can make a ch sound. Look at the word picture. And OLO is obviously pronounced kernel. T, again making a ch, gives us church. Now this might remind you of that old chestnut, goatee. But this doesn't spell goatee. Oh no, this is a way to spell fish. The GH makes the f sound we see in enough. The O is pronounced like the O in women, and the TI is like the TI in nation. Fish. Now all of this has you thinking, what? Why? Let me explain. This is not OED, the Oxford English Dictionary. This is a way to spell the word what. The O is pronounced like the O in one, and the ED is pronounced with a T, like in act. And this, how is this why? Well, take a look. Why? Choir. Why? What? Why? Why? This is how I spell.
Am I living in a simulation? I'm the one living in a simulation, aren't I? These are glitches in reality. These are glitches in the simulation I'm living in, because where's the patch notes? You know, as a kid, I thought the word women was spelled WEMEN. Because that just sounds right. And here I thought the words down and dawn already didn't make enough sense. The word with the A sound is spelled with an O, and the word with an O sound is spelled with an A. Down, dawn. D-A-W-N with an O sound, D-O-W-N with an A sound. Anyways, anything else I should know about? Any other theory crafting material I should know before I move on to the next episode? If anything, this just makes Cain not only more suspicious, but more mysterious. Either everything thus far has been a lie, none of it true whatsoever, or the things we learned in this episode straight up contradict other things. You know, I would have said, why hasn't anyone tried to sit down with Cain and just ask him, calm the hell down? You are so sporadic, so energetic, so jumpy. Calm down, please? I would have said that, but let's face it, if Cain did try to calm down, he probably would break. Reality would just collapse. What's amazing is the writers probably knew this. They knew people like me would theorize and fall right into their traps. Kane is acting mad suspicious all the time. I feel like he's an AI. But why would this place need an AI host? Probably to keep their minds stimulated and active. And then when Abel says exactly this, it's almost like they knew this would be the exact conclusion we would go to. And it's like, they weren't exactly shy about hiding it either. Like I said in the past, it was right in your face. So this would be the natural direction we would theorize in. I wonder if anyone theorized the way I did. The way that Kane, if he really is the Kane in CNA, and if he's dead, the only way to keep him alive was to put him into this computer world. If he really is dead, he would drop being human and fully embrace being an internet program, a cartoon character. He would make sense. That would make sense as to why he would embrace everyone else as humans. Because he doesn't see himself as human anymore. He's dead in reality. And he's stuck here. I wonder if anyone theorized like that. I also find it pretty funny that during the beach sequence, you know, when you're in a beach, you would wear minimum clothing. But Gango actually put on a swimsuit. Like, she put on clothes at the beach. Doesn't this just mean Gango's naked all the time? Like, other characters do wear clothes. It's not even the first time we've seen her put on clothes. She put on the manager outfit at the Timu McDonald's, and then she even put on the V-neck shirt at the bar. Yeah, naked is relative. But yes. You hear that, all you Digital Circus gooners? Gango is naked this whole time. Are you guys aroused by the ribbons and mask character? You do technically get to see everything, you sickos. Me, on the other hand, with this realization, I have something shameful to do after this. So, 2 episodes left. You know, all my time has been spent alpha hunting in this game. I don't really know what I'm going to do afterwards. You know, I bought Fire Red on here, and I haven't played it after getting the Shiny Charmander. I have not played that game after the starter. Is it a based take of mine that I do not like the Kanto region? Like, it's my least favorite region. It's just boring to me. That's part of the downside of being the first one. Literally every region after has more exciting content, more exciting stories. And it really doesn't help that we revisit Kanto over and over. I'm sorry, I just have no interest towards the Kanto region. All the Gen 1ers are gonna dislike this. It's almost hard not to be convinced that the development team over at Game Freak are not Gen 1ers themselves, given all the Gen 1 pandering they do. It's almost like they're disgusted every time they have to make a brand new region. Ew, new Pokemon. When can we get back to the Gen 1 stuff? Did you guys hear the rumor that Winds and Waves is going to have 300 new Pokemon? I'll believe it when I see it, and I really don't believe it. Are you nuts? 300 new Pokemon on top of however many returning Pokemon will be in the game? Let's face it, Game Freak is not ballsy enough to pull another Black and White, where only the new Pokemon are available. Because 300 Pokemon, yeah, that's more than enough. That's more than enough of a reason to do it again. No old Pokemon, only the new ones. 300! I really am curious about the next episode. How will everyone react now that they know Kane is not to be trusted? Are they completely going to revolt and jump Kane? And you know, even if Kane is artificial, even if he has no soul, he does seem genuine. Like, he actually does seem like he genuinely sees these guys as friends. He genuinely wants to please them. And he does try to make adventures that pleases all of them. That's why he grows so frustrated when Zubo doesn't participate. It's like, God damn it, Zubo, what will it take for me to please you? Even after the episode with the rapid fire suggestion box ideas, he puts down the idea of doing that again the next episode because it just causes conflict in between the group. So at least Kane is genuine for what that what that matters. Like, he actually does want the well-being for his characters, right? Or his I guess you could call them playthings to him. What's interesting is nobody's suspicious of Bubble. Which, by the way, they did confirm Bubble's a boy. Because in this episode, Kane called Bubble good boy as he patted him on the head. I thought Bubble was a girl this whole time. Well, I say this whole time. A couple episodes ago, he called himself Daddy. How did that hit? Hmm. The finale better have a damn good answer for all of this. How did they get stuck? How do they escape? Why are they stuck? Was it really a chocolate factory golden ticket raffle? Because I fail to see what all of them have in common, why they all got stuck. None of them are supposedly CNA workers. They all seem to be complete strangers with nothing in common. Hell, they all supposedly came here at different times. Pomni came here long after Kinger was here. To the point they even made a whole theme song without her. A theme song even with Kaufmo in it. What's interesting is they still have not done that yet. It's not something that they had to, but they still haven't redid a new theme song that involved Pomni and not Kaufmo. They haven't done that yet, and I really don't think they will. Unless that's the ending. Like, they escaped. Our characters get a happy ending. And then we see what would have been in a brand new intro with Pomni's inclusion. You know how sometimes movies, games, what have you will do that with the credits? What would have been if? Hmm. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I could be missing? Anything else I should think about? I wonder how close I am with my theories, you know? If I am literally hovering over the answer or if I am super off. Like, no, you missed the whole point. You are so far away. You are nowhere close. Well, we'll find out with 2 more episodes. Oh my god, I can barely contain my excitement. You know, I'm also genuinely watching this as well. Like, not skipping ahead, not looking up spoilers. I'm actually in the dark. I'm watching one episode at a time. Like, I haven't already seen the finale and I'm just pretending I don't know what's happening. I actually don't know. I'm going one episode at a time. You know, I really like the idea that our characters escape the digital circus. They wake up and it's actually live action. Their voice actors play the part of their characters waking up. That would explain why their voices sound the same. It's because the voice actors wake up. Though, then they would have to invest money into headsets, into backgrounds. Like, are they hooked up to an IV machine in a hospital? They would have to invest all that. Because let's face it, they're not adding a live action sequence at the end of the characters waking up. Prove me wrong. Or prove me right, I don't know. You know, there isn't too many shows like this where the live action the voice actors will play the live action versions of their cartoon characters. Only other example I could think of, remember when SpongeBob did that episode where the voice actors actually used their cartoon voices in live action? That's not exactly the same as what I'm suggesting, but close enough. Kevin Conroy did it unless you mean in the same show. You mean when he played the old, crippled Bruce Wayne? No, I'm talking at the same show. In the same show, in the same episode. Did he? And I don't recall Gumball doing it as well. I don't know, I haven't seen the new episodes of Gumball. I'm very behind on those. I remember the finale, the supposed finale all those years ago where the characters were being turned into live action. They really thought to end the show like that. They actually thought to end the show like that. Yes, they had plans for a film, which never happened. You know, sometimes I don't understand these studios where it's probably so easy to greenlit a film. Like a film that's especially connected to a series that should conclude a series. You might be thinking, but the box office, but the profits. Yeah, that's the problem with films. You kind of expect the fans to watch the show, to watch the film. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to market the film to the general public who did not watch the show. Chainsaw Man. But you would think at the time, you had the big advantage on your hands, which was streaming. You idiots! It's a sequel, that's on you. Oh, right. Remember what I said about what I said in the past when Mortal Kombat 2 was coming out? I said what I want, like this would be nice, to watch the films with someone who actually knows the material, right? Who didn't just look up a TLDR, who actually is interested, is a fan, and likes the material, actually knows about the material. Why is that so hard? And some of my friends have been using this to tease me a lot, saying, so you don't want to watch Spider-Man Brand New Day with us? Because we don't know Spider-Man? It's like, motherfucker. And then I saw this. Whoops, hold on. That's on my computer, hold on. And then I saw this, like, me on my way to beat them up because they did not watch Daredevil or Punisher for Spider-Man Brand New Day. What do you mean you did not watch 3 Netflix seasons of Daredevil, 2 Netflix seasons of Punisher, at the moment, 2 seasons of Daredevil Born Again, 1 Punisher special, and every single movie that Spider-Man has been in the MCU. What do you mean you didn't watch all of them for Spider-Man Brand New Day? You disgust me. Fake-ass fan. What do you mean you don't know 60 years of history of Spider-Man comics? You know, this game can really suck my fat one every now and then. Because holy moly. This game sometimes. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call it for today. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.